Several months ago, when I was talking to my 75-year-old dad, he said he was still trying to figure out what he wants to be when he grows up. Now, he laughed about it, but I thought this was kind of sad. As someone who is a teacher, a professor of future teachers, someone who writes books on goal setting, and as a mom, my whole personal and professional life have been dedicated to helping people figure out what they want to do when they grow up. This shouldn't be an anomaly. I've always held close to Maya Angelou's quote, "When you get, give, and when you learn, teach." So what I want to teach you is something that I've learned because I feel like I'm doing exactly what I want to do. The thing that I would like to share with you today, especially since most of you are university students with a big future ahead of you, is how to set meaningful goals and how to use your brain to help you achieve them. When I was in high school, I wrote these two goals in my senior year diary. I wanted to be an elementary teacher, and I wanted to write children's books. Now, that first goal was a pretty clear-cut path. You major in elementary education, and then your senior year, you take the education exams, and then you apply for elementary teacher jobs. And that's what I did. Now, that second goal wasn't as clear-cut a path. I dabbled in writing while I was teaching, but I was kind of wishy-washy on ever pursuing it until I heard about this concept that is all about unpacking your purpose. Now, that concept is called ikigai. This is a Japanese term. Iki means life, and gai means purpose. Now, ikigai is pretty important, figuring out what your life's purpose is. It's about reflecting on 4 key areas. The first one is what you're good at. So think about it for a moment. Think about what your strengths are. What is it you're good at, or people have maybe mentioned to you that you shine in? The second thing is what you love to do. What brings you joy? What makes you happy? The third part is what you can be valued for. In other words, earn an income, or maybe just be appreciated. And the last section is all about what the world needs, or the community at large. In other words, in what way can you make an impact? In what way will you feel fulfilled? Now, if you take these 4 things and you made a 4-way Venn diagram, that intersection in the middle, that is your ikigai. If you can figure that out, that is your life's purpose. Now, I encourage you to try this. I took a giant foam board and lots of sticky notes, and I started writing on each of the sticky notes different things that I was doing, things I thought about doing, the good things and the bad things. And then what I started to do was put those in the different categories. So, for example, you might have something that just falls in one category. Like for me, in the love category, I had one thing: singing. Singing is not something that would fall into a strength for me. It's nothing I'll ever be valued for. No one's gonna pay me for my singing, and the world doesn't need it. However, I can still sing in the shower, and you'll have things like that too, that just fall in one category. Now, you're also going to have a lot of things that fall in 2 categories. So maybe, for example, there's someone who is very good at their job, and maybe they make a great income as well. Now, they might be perceived as highly career successful, but if they don't have that same thing in love or in fulfillment, those are the types of people that don't wake up excited to do their job every day. They don't have that feeling of having an impact. Now, there's another example I'll give you for if you have 3 sections. So maybe there's this thing that falls into 3 categories, like, for example, mission work. So it's something that you love to do, you're good at it, the world definitely needs it, but you might not make an income from it. Now, I am not trying to say that you shouldn't do mission work, because you should. I'm not saying you shouldn't sing in the shower or the car. What I am saying is, if you can figure out something that fits in all 4 of those categories, that is meaningful, that's worth pursuing. And what you can do with that, when you figure out your ikigai, is you can start setting goals. So write those things down. For me, my ikigai was not only teaching, but also writing and speaking for kids. And so write those things down, start thinking of action steps that you can take, Maybe even make a vision board and put it on there, because as you start realizing that that's important to you, your brain starts to kick in. And this is the part where your brain can help you. We all have this thing called the reticular activating system. It's a small bundle of nerves in your brainstem, and it's responsible for our conscious and subconscious thought. Dr. Andrew Huberman says that this can be queued up so that we do pay attention and focus in on those things that are important, like your ikigai items. Now, there are lots of things coming into our brains. There are millions of bits of information, as a matter of fact, coming every second. I didn't say every hour or every minute. Every second, our senses are inundated with millions of bits of information, things we're hearing, things we're seeing. There's so much that we couldn't possibly attend to all of it. Dr. Judy Willis, a neuroscientist, says that our reticular activating system sorts and sifts that for us, and it helps us to know what to attend to and what to ignore. It's kind of like our own personal front desk secretary. So she's going to know who to let in and who to keep out. Now, my favorite example of the reticular activating system at work is a new mom. And since I've experienced this a couple of times, I can tell you this is true, that the most important thing to a new mom is their baby. Now, another close second might be sleep. And when that mom goes to sleep at night and she has her baby down for the night, there could be a loud thunderstorm. There could be a low-flying jet. The neighbors might be throwing a party with loud music, and that mom will sleep right through that. But I can also tell you that if that baby makes the slightest whimper on the baby monitor, that mom is going to be up, because her front desk secretary is alerting her, knowing that this is important to you and knowing that you should notice that, and you will be woken up. Now, another example of this is when you're shopping for a car. So you might have figured out the make, the model, maybe even the color, and as you're saving up to purchase that car, you all of a sudden notice it everywhere. You notice it in parking lots. You start noticing it as you're driving down the street. And it's not because they've all of a sudden been mass manufactured or everyone went out and purchased one. It's because your reticular activating system knows that that's important to you, that you've been thinking about it, and it's filtering that in for you to notice. Think about how powerful this is. If you figure out your ikigai and you can get your brain to filter for those things, how much that can help you. Now, if we look back at my second goal to become a children's book author and speaker, I wasn't quite sure how to go about doing that. And so I wrote down my goal to do that. And I started noticing things. I started noticing resources. I put it on a vision board, and I started seeing all kinds of things that were building momentum, like workshops and classes that I could take and webinars. I started meeting people who were doing the thing I wanted to do. And then I started taking those first steps. I bought my first laptop computer. And then I found out that some people break in by writing for children's magazines, so I started doing that. And before I knew it, I finally signed my first contract for a book. I can tell you that just recently, in the last month, I just signed my 20th children's book contract. And the exciting thing is, thank you. The exciting thing is, I am doing what I feel I was made to do. I wake up so excited on the mornings that I get to go talk to kids. I get to share stories. I get to inspire them to believe in themselves, get them excited about reading and writing. I love everything about my job. And I want this for you. Promise me you'll do this. Get a foam board or just use a table. Get a bunch of Post-it notes. Start writing on those Post-it notes the things that you want to do. Start writing the things that you love, the things you're good at, the things you could be valued for, and the things that the world needs or that would fulfill you, that you would feel like you're making an impact. Don't wait until you're 75, like my dad, to figure out what you want to do. Don't even wait till you're 25. There's no reason that you can't start right now figuring that out. So figure out that ikigai and then write it down. Make some goals. Make a vision board. Start writing those first baby steps, those little action items that you could take. you're going to start noticing things. Resources will come in front of you. Your reticular activating system, that front desk secretary, is going to help you along your path. And once you figure out your life's purpose and you get to do what you were made for, you'll be living your best life. Thank you.